Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I see we have a little dove in here that's not been before. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We've even got the UK in the house because we don't always have the UK in, especially when I'm going live late at night to accommodate all the US people here. So I thought I would go live just a little bit earlier and then everybody can tune in. So it's like 9 p.m. here in the UK. So it's kind of bedtime soon. I thought I'd come on here and talk to you all. So lots to get through tonight. We are, of course, covering the Summer Wells case. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. I can see all your names in the chat. It's lovely of you all to support the channel, and I do appreciate you all. Thank you. So we've got lots to get through tonight. We have timelines, statements, friends coming forwards with all sorts of crazy spiels, whether or not we believe some of it, whether we do, some of the neighbours, the photos, evidence that the TBI have got, and alibis and all sorts of other things to do with the Summer Wells case. So for anybody who doesn't know, I think everybody does by now, but Summer Wells was a little 5-year-old girl that went missing in Tennessee. And as you can see, the photo of her on the screen, blonde hair, blue eyes, she's only tiny. And so we've all been hoping for answers, hoping that somebody would eventually get, arrested by now, which doesn't seem to have happened yet, and I think that is causing a lot of people to become quite annoyed and frustrated and all sorts of other emotions. So and then the drama starts and everybody's creating chaos just because everybody's just frustrated, I think. So how is everyone tonight? Where are you all from? I, of course, live in the UK, if you cannot already tell. So, yeah, the 15th of June. And what I've decided to do is a lot of people have gone back to the beginning and they've been looking at videos, statements and all sorts of things on other people's channels and things that they've already got on their channels so that they can go back and see what was said previously to see if anything's been missed. And of course, we've pulled things forward that, we haven't heard about for a long time. But one thing we haven't really done yet is gone back over some of the Facebook groups right to the very, very beginning and pull up some of the information that, of course, some of the friends and relatives and people that knew the Wells came forward and spoke about right at the beginning of the case. And I don't know if anybody's actually done that yet and gone right to the beginning of the case in regards to Facebook. So I thought I'd do that today. So that's what I've been doing. And do you know what? There's some crazy things. If you've been on my community post, you might have already seen some of them that I've kind of posted on there. But there's even more crazy stuff, guys. And I need you to help me go through it and decide what's too crazy to actually be real and what we believe. Okay. Because some of it I actually believe. Some of it I'd like to believe, but I'm not sure. So I thought, who better to go through it with me than you guys, and we'll pull it apart together. So what actually happened to Summer Wells? And the title of tonight's video, where is, or live should I say, where is Summer now? So we've got Jenny from Merseyside. I've seen East Tennessee in here. There's Tyneside. So lots of people from the UK I see in here tonight, so that's nice. Okay, so where should we start? So I've made some notes, obviously, with my pen and paper. Can't get into this technology business. I can just about turn the computer on. Don't ask me to share anything, or we may lose me altogether. In more ways than one, okay? I don't know where I've got these headphones on because I can't actually hear myself speak. And seeing as I've not got anybody on panel with me tonight, I don't think I need those. Right, I can hear myself now. Okay, so where are we? Let's have a look. So what have, let me get my photos up here. Where should we start? Right at the top. So what have Hawkins County and Tennessee Bureau of Investigation been doing for the past however many months? Okay. They've droned, dredged, dived. You see what I did there? All beginning with a D. And searching for Summer. So here are some of the photos of evidence that we have so far. Okay, so this is what they picked up from the Wells property. I don't know if anybody's seen these, but this is, they took this bottle for whatever reason, I'm not quite sure. They also took, they found like I don't know what you call that, some kind of like box with a lid, like a storage box. And inside, this is what they found. So do you remember recently, I think it was listed what they had actually found? Well, these are some of the clothes. And they do kind of look like possibly similar clothes to what was described. So we've got the pair of jeans here, looks like a t-shirt. And supposedly these were some of the boys' clothes. So I don't know what they were doing in a box, whether they just didn't fit them anymore, whether they've worn them that day. Who knows? Who knows? And something else, although it looks like a picture of something, I think it is actually just clothing, like black clothing of some description. And a trainer, like a black trainer. I think we've already seen some other pictures of another trainer, which I think belonged to Summer. I think they're at the bottom here. Let me have a look. There was a flip-flop. And I think on the property as well, they found this tent. And that was just down the hill. Tent there with some accessories, and it looks like whoever had it didn't look too bothered about tidying up after themselves. So there we go. Okay, let me get back to the, because I'm going into the photos, I can't always see your comments. I will tell you when I'm going into the photos, because if you leave me a comment or there's any super chats or anything, I might miss it. So you might just have to like remind me if I don't see something. Okay, so that was some of the evidence that was found for anybody that had not seen that. So what else have we got? 6 p.m. onwards. So photos. So this is a kind of timeline that was drawn up, not by myself. And this only goes from 6 p.m. that night. So as we know, do you remember she posts that photo of Summer, or shall we say the boys, but it looks like it's got Summer on it. You can probably see her there in the corner. And that's like at 6:06, I think it is. Candace walks Summer back to the house. Summer goes inside, tell her 3 brothers that she wants to play, and Candace tells the boys to look after her. Candace fixes grandma's knee brace at the camper. Candace comes inside 2 minutes later, if you believe that, and Summer is gone because, of course, it only takes 2 minutes. Candace searches the whole house and yells for Summer outside. Candace calls Dawn, 6:25, 6:30, 911 call is made, and Summer is reported missing. Who by? I'm not quite sure. I mean, it sounds like it was the father. Candace did say that she also made a call to 911, but we haven't heard that, so whether that's something they're keeping back. But I certainly looked through the Broadcastify archives and I could not find anything in regards to the parent, Candace, but it did say the parents have called it in, and there was something said about the original call, so it could be that they just didn't mention it. And then 6:25, Candace, oh, done that bit, yep, she calls, and then 7:11, police dispatched. So they call at 6:30, but the police are not dispatched for 40 minutes. Is that right? Wow. Okay, I guess it's not a priority. 7:15 p.m. Candace called H, like you do. To pass on a message to Ali to say Summer was missing. Why would Candace call her ex-best friend, who apparently they don't even speak, to tell her that Summer was missing when they're not even friends anymore? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So I think she was ringing H to tell him that Summer was missing, because I think she's closer to him than she was of the mother. I can't see why she would contact Ali, but that's just me. And then 7:30, Candace called Donald, I think it is, and that Summer was missing. Oh, can't know. DD. Who's DD? David Dotson. I think that's David Dotson. To say that Summer was missing. And then at 8:30, David Dotson and Robin arrive at the Wells home. Now, I was told that they weren't actually allowed up there. Robin said she wasn't allowed up there. So I don't know what it means that they arrived there. I think, as far as I was aware from the interview that David Dotson gave, he arrived at a different time to Robin. I don't think they arrived at the same time. So anyway, and then, so I guess between 8:30 and 12 a.m. they're busy, what with questions and searching, whether they did actually do any searching. I think they probably told not to do in the first few hours. Candace Snapchat video calls with A at 12 a.m. So is that Ali? Probably, but you know, I thought she wasn't friends with Ali. Maybe it was to find out, or to put in a preemptor to make sure they don't say anything that could incriminate them. Who knows? What do you think about that, guys? I have no idea. I'm just speculating. And then 12:07 a.m. TBI issues an endangered child alert for Summer. So they've obviously realized by then that she is not around in the immediate area. She hasn't just wandered off at that point, because you couldn't have got that far. And so they put a, let's just go back to the photos. Okay, so Hawkins County, basically in TBI, turn around and say, look, no one is more frustrated than us by the lack of answers at this stage. However, we haven't given up and we won't, the TBI said. While we do not discuss I've got a lisp. Specifics about evidence gathered in the ongoing investigation, we can tell you that numerous search warrants have been executed and any potential digital evidence has been collected. This includes social media data. Okay. So how does that make everybody feel that after nearly a year, it's coming up to a year now, guys, and we're still no better off? I mean, maybe they have more evidence than they did right at the beginning. Maybe they know more and it's just a case of trying to get more, even more on them to kind of get a concrete case. But to us, the guys that are just kind of watching and waiting, it feels like, although they're saying they won't give up, it's like nothing's happening, because we can't see any developments, if you know what I'm saying. It is really frustrating, really frustrating. Okay. So, of course, they start digging, they're searching everywhere. I don't know what they're digging for here. Maybe they've just found a patch that looks a bit disturbed, so they're probably having a little dig to see if there's anything there, maybe. And then we've got some of the people that live around the area and names have been mentioned. And we had Jay Dobbs, who apparently also lives on Ben Hill in the Beach Creek area. And on the 15th of June, I think people had been saying, you know, where was he? Was he involved? And he said, I've been interviewed by the TBI on the phone and 2 FBI agents in person. I do believe I have been cleared of any wrongdoing. Right, can we just mention Jay Dobbs? I don't know you. I don't know what you were doing that day, but I can tell you now, you've not been cleared of any wrongdoing in this case. I'm pretty sure that as much as you want to be cleared, I don't think anybody has been cleared in this investigation. And until they can work out exactly what happened and arrests are made, as far as Sheriff Lawson is concerned, everybody is still a suspect. Okay. He said, I spent the entire day at Roadway Inn in Church Hill, Tennessee, only leaving the inn for food and beer at the nearby Marathon gas stations with my dog, Elvis. Maybe he can give you an alibi then. Ooh. Okay. So, of course, we've then got, you know, Jodie Sue, we've got her ex, we've got all sorts of other people that we've heard mentioned. Some of the people in the area with backgrounds, should we say, that aren't great. If you know, kind of know what I mean. They are also still suspects. Nobody has been written out or cleared, as far as I'm concerned. So if you know anything that I don't know, then yeah, Jose has passed away. He was another one that they wanted to speak to, because apparently he did spend some time living with the Wells and living with Summer, and he knew her. And so, you know, that's pretty sad that he's passed away. I'm guessing he was still a suspect too, because nobody has been ruled out. But, you know, I've heard that he's passed away. I don't know that 100%, but so I've been told that is the case. And we don't really have any answers yet as to how or why, and whether we ever will get those answers. Who knows? We obviously then had David Dodson, and he was all over the Wells right at the time, whether he wanted the media all over him. And he was like, look at me, media, like, look at me. I'm on the news. Look, I'm taking the boys out. I'm such a great person. And that what he's disappeared now and like doesn't even speak to them. Like, so, okay. Does that mean that he's seen through the Wells like we all have? Or has he moved and just doesn't keep in contact anymore? Like, what's the case? Plenty of people that we've spoken about, even people that have got red trucks. Although, to be honest with you, I don't even believe the red truck thing. I don't think I've really believed that from the beginning. I think it's something that was made up. I don't really think there was a red truck involved in this, but that's just me. Okay, so what's next? So do you remember this? I'm going to get to some more juicier bits, but we're just going over this first. Right, where is it? Let's see. No, that's not it. Okay, so I think we've gone over this fairly recently, but I honestly 100% believe, and I don't know what you think, but if you read this top two lines, it says Hun, Sum, and she's just not got very good with commas. Hun, Sum, I, and Candace were planting flowers. Hunter, Summer, I, and Candace were planting flowers. That's what that says to me. I believe Hunter was there. I don't think she was saying Hun, honey, Some I, and Candace were planting flowers. It just doesn't make sense. I think that is Hunter. I don't know what you think. Let me know. But that's Candace, and that's right at the very beginning when she posts this. I think it was a message she'd sent to someone that had asked her, and they'd put it on Facebook. So we got that. Okay, what's next? And then, of course, we had Don and his crazy statements, leaping on all these platforms so that he could put out his narrative about what went on. Oh, Doug. Hi, Doug. Love you too. Oh, I've not seen you for a while. I did send you a message. So, of course, we've got Donald. He comes out of the woodwork. He's like, hi, everybody, look at me, look at me. You know, I think he just really enjoyed the fame. Honestly, I think he did. Even though everybody was thinking he was a dickhead, I honestly think that he was enjoying it. He was on everybody's YouTube channel that would have him. Even the ones that he wasn't on, he was messaging people behind the scenes, should we say fangirls, you know, messaging some of the YouTube channels that he wasn't on, and just generally putting himself out there. And he said to the media, I went on YouTube so that I could help find my daughter. No, you went on YouTube so that you could talk about yourself. You know, that's it, basically. So he's here and he's like, he's just had this big group of searchers, Echo Search, basically scouring the dense terrain, looking for his daughter. And he's there, like David Radar, that's the person that ran the Echo search team. You talk a lot, but can you hear? You expect us to bow down to you. Well, yeah, I think I would be bowing down to him if he was searching harsh terrain for my daughter. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, mate. Do you want a cup of tea? Do you want a coffee? Let me make you a 3-course meal. Just get on with it. We have been saying from the beginning, she's been abducted. If you could shut that big mouth of yours, maybe you could hear. Yes, Donald, because we all need to hear what you have to say because you're so freaking important. Would you and the authorities be looking in all these dumb places if she'd been abducted? Well, obviously, the Hawkins County and the TBI don't feel that she was abducted. Otherwise, they wouldn't be searching the area around where you live. And I don't think you wanted them to search around where you lived because you tell us the tale about where she is And I think you want everybody to believe you because you're narcissistic. And when nobody believes you and says, well, wait a minute, okay, I can see what you're saying, Donald, but we're still searching. You don't like it. And maybe you can get, Candace to run around going, yeah, okay, Donald. Okay, Danny. But maybe EquiSearch, TBI, and Hawkins County don't want to do that, Sorry to upset you. So he says, I'm sorry. I'm very, very upset. I don't think you sound very sorry in this message, John, but hey. But all these search teams are wasting their time. Can you hear me? I'm like, yeah, we hear you, Donald. We hear you. You plastered it on Facebook for everybody to read. We definitely hear you, Donald. Okay. And then we have another one here. So he's like, this was after he'd been called out for talking online. People had said to him, you shouldn't be talking online because basically making yourself look like a dickhead. And so he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be on anymore. Okay, I'm not going to be on anymore. So he comes on straight away. I'm not supposed to say anything. I'm not supposed to defend myself, Candace or Summer. I know, and I mean I know. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. She was abducted. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. If this were your daughter and hardly anyone listened to you but made it a point to make fun of the situation, how would you react? Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Nice to see you. I'm just getting a bit overexcitable about reading Don's messages because that's what it does to me. It makes me a bit annoyed. I will calm down in a minute. Okay. Knowing while all these supposed professional search teams are wasting their time and poking fun at your expense, how would you feel if they would have listened to me and blocked all the roads leading to our area? Then maybe things would be different. So he's just getting excitable again because nobody's listening to what he's saying. He feels that he's, he knows what's going on, even though he wasn't there at the time. He wasn't there. You were at work, but she was abducted. ×3 exclamation marks. I know, and I mean, I know she was abducted. 2 exclamation marks. Well, that is very, very certain of you there, Donald. Very certain. But you weren't there. You were at work. So how would you know that? How can you be that certain when you weren't there? Anyway, Emma, calm yourself down. Calm yourself down. Okay. Moving along. Right. So I've got some photos here of, for anybody that's not been down to the waterhole, I found some pictures while I was online. I don't know what that hole is there, whether it's something that was disturbed and they dug it up or whether it's an animal hole. Very beautiful, isn't it? Especially with the sun shining. We don't get areas like that here, I don't think. Not as many. Okay, so we've got a statement here. Right. And this was something that was put on Candace's, the homepage, their homepage, what do they call it? The Wells official site, or whatever you want to call it. The words of Candace Wells, mother of missing Summer Wells. Well, this might be interesting in a minute because I'm going to read you another little statement that she gave to the Rogersville review. So you can try and compare if you can remember. Okay, so she said, we come home and then me and my mum and the boys were in watching YouTube like they always do. My mum says, let's rearrange the plants and flowers. I think she means the cacti. She goes, well, We know the boys aren't going to help us, and I know Summer will. So I yelled for Summer. She was in the house with the boys, and she comes out and she was planting flowers with us. The flowers were put in planters next to Grandma Candy's camper, with Summer handling some of the tasks. She put all the rocks on top, put Chase, is it Chase, in there? I think he must be one of the toys. She did all the rocks herself. We went into Grandma's after we were done, and she asked Grandma for a piece of candy. Okay, so then we've got this one. Piece of candy. Grandma gave her a piece of candy. She told me she wanted to go back over with her brothers. So I literally walked her halfway between the camper and the house. Although I put out a video yesterday where she actually did say I walked her to the door. And I was questioning why, because it was about 6 meters from the camper. But anyway, I watched her go in the door, and I could see her brothers at the kitchen table when she went in. I walked over and yelled at the boys. I don't know why she yelled at them, but she yelled and said, "Watch Summer, I'll be right back." I got to fix my mum's knee brace. I was standing right there at the camper. I was over fixing it. Literally, you can see my house from the camper door. She did not walk back out of that front door. So I went down there, and I was... Where are we? So I went back. So I went down there and I searched, looked everywhere. Searched. I looked everywhere, and everywhere I could. Then I went through the house. I kept calling for her, yelling for her, everything. I came out here outside, yelling for her, everything else, and she was nowhere. So I called Don because I was freaking out. I said, "I can't find Summer, get home now." He was like, "Call 911. So I dropped my phone because I had to run over to get she had to run over to get her phone. Dialed 911. So I called them and told them what was going on. Before the cops even came out, I went down and told my neighbours Summer was missing. So I don't know if that's when she saw Jody Sue down at the bottom of the creek. Will you help me look, just in case she did wander off? But I knew in the back of my mind she's never wandered off. She never went nowhere without me. She'll ask me to do something before she even goes and does it. And she's scared to go in the woods herself, because we've told her time and time again that there's bears and snakes. I sent the older boys down through the creek. If they've got a walkie-talkie and their buck knife, they can go down there. Searching. That just put me off. Searching, and I went out in my mom's truck and went all the way down by the church. Yeah, but she's not. Is she going to walk down the main road? Like, I don't know. Right, just give me a sec. You upload these in order, but they never upload in order for some reason. It's crazy. I went all the way back in the holler as far as the truck can go. Didn't see nothing back in there either. And when I was coming back up out of the holler, the cops were coming up my driveway. So I followed them up there. I don't recall if Don was there before the police got there, or if he was there at the same time that he showed up. We searched everywhere we possibly could. They were out here for 3 or 4 days straight, searching 5,000 square acres. They searched all this mountain terrain, all of the way down through here. They smile to put on a good show, but other than that, I know they're really upset. They ask me every day, is Summer coming home today? Oh, she must be talking about the boys here. I can't answer that. I don't know. I find myself sitting out here until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, hoping she will walk back up the driveway. So that was Candace's statement that she gave to whoever it is that was running their site. I think it might have been Tim, but who knows, you know. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Beautiful chaos. That's nice. For Penny and Mum for ice cream. Thank you, Emma, for all you do. Thank you very much for your support. So where are we now? So that was the statement that was put out on their media platform. Okay. But let's listen to what was actually said. Let me just scroll down. What was actually said on the Rogersville Review. Okay. So this is what was said. Unplug my charger. Put it on comments so I can still see your comments. This was Candace, okay. We went to Gatlinburg and the boys, so this is Grandis initially. We went to Gatlinburg and the boys accidentally kept tripping over my sore knee. And then this is Candace. She had an artificial knee replaced, and if you twist it the wrong way, it pops out and it really hurts bad. And she couldn't figure out why it wouldn't stop hurting for a while, so I took her to the ER that morning. After taking Candy to Holston Valley, Candace and Summer went to visit some family friends in Kingsport. Well, we know who that is. They invited me over to sit at their house while I waited for my mum to get done. So this is Candace saying she was sat at H and Ali's house while they were waiting. So they were sat there for some time. So this is Candace admitting that she went there and she was sat there while they waited. So however long they were there for, I don't know. I think, didn't H say they'd arrived about 10? Not quite sure. I waited for my mum to get done, so we weren't sitting in the hot truck. Okay. I was sitting and Mum called me to come and get her. Said, I told my mum that this 15-year-old friend was going to come along. He'd asked to come along. I went and picked her up, Grandma, that is. And when we drove all the way across town and dropped off her prescription, they said it was about an hour. Mm-hmm. And then instead of sitting in the hot car, we decided it was too hot, so we were going to go to Warriors, let Summer swim for a little while. Like I said, we weren't even planning on going swimming or fishing. But didn't H say that she changed Summer into her swimming costume at his house? So if they weren't planning on going swimming or fishing, why would he say that to Chris McDonough that they were going fishing? Why would they say to Ali that they were going fishing? Why would Candace change Summer into a swimming costume at H's or even take the swimming costume with her? But anyway, so they went for a swim and they weren't even planning to go that day, Candace said. So we went to Warriors State Park and let Summer and the boy swim in the cove just south of the horse stables. I figured 15 or 20 minutes in the water, you know, run a little bit of energy out instead of sitting in the hot car. Right now, this is the third time she's mentioned the hot car, and this is in 3 screenshots. Okay. She's mentioned the hot car before they got to Hunters, the hot car, when going to H's so that they don't have to sit in the hot car. And then, oh yeah, that's the first one. And then sitting in the hot car, instead of doing that, they went for a swim. And yeah, it's just, she's mentioned it about 3 times now about how they've gone for a swim so they don't have to sit in the hot car. She's got this hot car on her mind, guys. Okay, so Summer and the boy went in to swim. I figured 15, 20 minutes in the water, you know, run a little bit of energy off instead of sitting in the hot car. Yeah, that was third time. A hot truck, she said. One of the last videos shot of Summer before the disappearance is of her swimming in that cove. There has been much speculation in social media about what happened next. According to accounts, Summer went underwater and the boy dove in to save her. Candace said that didn't happen. In the video, Summer is seen splashing in the lake, then stands up to reveal it's only about waist deep. So she's saying that didn't happen. Summer didn't go underwater. That boy lied about everything, she said. Because the place I was at, there was no rocks. She didn't slide on no rocks or fall in any water. She wasn't underwater for 20 seconds, she says, or more, like he said. That was just a bunch of lies he made up. I don't know why he did that, she said. There was no incident at all. That just does not make sense. Now, I know kids, okay, especially kids. Adults can do it too, but especially kids, and especially people with autism or some kind of learning development issues. You can exaggerate the truth slightly. You can miss things out, or, you know, add little extras on. But what, make up one whole scenario that she was in the water, she went underwater, that she was under for a certain length of time, that he had to race in like some hero and pull her out. She was under, you know, all this whole scenario is a lot for somebody to just to make up. Okay, exaggerating the truth slightly, like how long she might have been underwater for, or how long they were at the water edge for, or, you know, anything like that. But to completely like make up a whole scenario, to me, that's just a little bit too much to imagine was possible. Okay, so I'm just going to have a quick look at some of these comments here, because the real Rockin' Robin says, I can see as she highlighted my name. You are in the medical field. Do you need a brace? Oh, you've jumped. Wait a sec. Do you need a brace for an artificial knee or limb? Okay, so when you have your knee done, initially they will give you a brace just to go home with. And it's something you wear just for like a very short time. They don't ask you to keep it on. They want you to almost straight away on this knee get it moving. They want you to get it moving, get going. You know, they may give you a little stick just to, so you're not putting too much pressure on it, but they don't want you to be overdoing it. But that knee brace is literally for a short period of time. That's if she did have a knee replacement. I'm sure she said she'd had a knee replacement, but if she hadn't, maybe she had one from before she had the knee done, just to give it support when it, you know, before the operation, maybe. So yeah, so she's basically saying here that that just did not happen. It didn't go underwater at all. It didn't happen. There was no incident at all. That doesn't even make sense as to why he would even say that, she said. And the video that I took in the same exact time that they were in the water playing, Candace said, if Summer had fallen, she'd jump right back up. She'd jump right back up. Right, okay. So that's what just does not make sense to me at all. There are so many so many, I don't know what so many. Anyway, after the swim, it was back to Fort Henry Drive to Walgreens. Okay, so I've got some pictures for you that I found recently. I think they're at the top here. So we've got Walgreens. They went to Walgreens. That's where they picked up the prescription. That's Kingsport. So that's where they went that day. So a quick stop at Walgreens grocery store. I think that's where they got the prescription there. You can see the pharmacy. Then they went here. No, it was Priceless they went to, I think. Priceless, which I think is on the other side of the road. And then they also went to Sonic for a slushie. And and then she's saying when she gets home. So this is where we might see any obvious differences regarding the first statement. So she said, I know, so we're talking about when they got home now. And if I find the bit about the boys helping get the food out, it might have just uploaded a different point. But anyway, they're home now at this point. Right, here we are. I know Summer will, so I yelled for Summer. This is what she said to the Rogersville review. I yelled for Summer and she was in the house with the boys. She comes out and she was planting flowers with us. The flowers were put in planters next to Grandma Candy's camper, with Summer handling some of the stones, etc. We went in Grandma's after we were done. Just looking, because right, let me just move down a bit. Okay, so I'll tell you something I also need to do when I've got a minute. Apparently there was all hell breaking loose on the 16th at the bottom of their driveway or somewhere on their hill on the 16th of June, the night after Summer went missing. Whether it did or not, I don't know, but it's something somebody said on Facebook. So I'm going to go across to Broadcastify at some point and see if I can pull it up and see if there was actually anything going on. Okay, so the mother of Tennessee girl who went missing over a month ago, so this was right at the beginning, shared more details about the day Summer went missing and denied any apparent claim that Summer went underwater. Summer 5 went missing on the 15th of June when her parents say that they believe she left or was taken out of the back door of their home. Okay. So Summer's parents, this was just after they gave that interview on the local news station. Let's get to where Candace starts talking. Bly said that she took her mother, whose name is also Candy, to the emergency room early that day because she had trouble with her knee. She dropped her mother at the emergency room and then she went to visit friends in Kingsport. They invited me over to sit at the house while I waited for my mum. So there's, like who is it that invited who? Was it Candace that invited herself to H's? Was it H that invited her over? Like, because both of them say different things. I don't know. Just looking, because this seems to be, just looking for the bit that's different. Guys, tell me in the comments section, because I was under the impression that Summer went missing, and then in order for Grandma to help her, she had to help her put her knee brace on. Was she doing the knee brace before Summer went missing or after? Does anybody know the answer to that? Because in my mind, for some reason, I've got it that they realized she was missing, and then it was like, oh my God, you know, and then she put a knee brace on, because I don't know where I've got that from. I don't know if it's the message that Grandma Candy sent me when I was talking to her. I'm just making sure I get all this in order, because there's so much and I don't want to read you to the wrong thing. Right, so where are we now? Why is it when you tell children to be quiet in the room, it's like it's not possible? I need one too, Anna. Get the kettle on. Oh gosh. Right, so we've done that. Water, yep. And let's change in. Right, where are we? Let's get my photos back up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Sherry, that maybe she had the knee brace from before she had the surgery, you know, to give her support. She was putting the brace on when Summer went into the house. I mean, who believes the thing about her going to sleep, Grandis, for like 3 hours? Because that would mean that when they got in at like 3:30, Grandis went straight to sleep. Either that or they dropped her off at home earlier. Because how would she have slept for 3 hours if they were planting flowers? And none of it makes any sense to me, really. I was thinking she had taken her brace off while she'd had the nap. Yeah, that would make sense. And then put it back on when she woke up. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Right, so I don't know if anybody's seen this photo, but I found it and I was like, oh, I've not seen this one before. So the boys' faces are kind of blurred out, but this is after Summer goes missing. Don's got off his bum and taken the kids to the park. So I think he's got the youngest boy there in the red. I don't know which is the eldest boy. I guess the one on the swing with the blue shorts, and then the middle boy stood next to him, maybe. So that was the evidence. I mean, I don't know if you watched BK's live he did a while ago when he was talking about the evidence that was found, and I think there was like a list. Well, I don't know if this was what it was in this photo, but this is some of the evidence that they did retrieve. These are the photos that they took of some of the evidence. If you missed it at the beginning, go back. I did post some photos on the live a bit ago with what they found, but this was some of the items. So I don't know whether they were from that day or what. I'm not quite sure. All right, let's see if we can find out where we were now. We went past that. Let's have a look. Right, so this, let's get this comment off the screen just for a second so we can read this fully. This computer's so slow tonight, and if I press everything twice, it like almost kicks me out of the stream. I think YouTube's been having some problems though just recently. I don't know if you've noticed, but every time I listen to something, it seems to be getting a bit better. But every time I was listening to something, it was doing a load of like spinning, like I wasn't getting any signal. I had it on 4G, then I had it on Wi-Fi. I was like, what the heck's going on? But it was everybody. It wasn't just one particular person. It just seemed to be everybody was just spinning and spinning. Anyway, never mind that. Moving on. So this is this Candace or Candace? The only outfit that I had was the brand new one that we got her to go to kindergarten, Bly said. It was a suit, of course, pants and a sweater. I got it probably about a week before, but you're too lazy to take it in the house because it just happened to be in the back of the truck. I mean, of course, that's where I leave Penny's clothes. I mean, not. So it was still in Mum's truck. It was the only change of clothes because we did not plan on going swimming that day. Well, I mean, that would make sense. You know, you're not planning on going swimming that day. But in that case, why wouldn't she have some clothes on to begin with? If you weren't planning on going swimming that day, surely she would have some normal clothes on. Because she wouldn't have a swimming costume on, would she? If she wasn't planning on going swimming. So does that make sense? Or am I just reading too much into that? Anyway. Got it about a week before. Weren't planning on going swimming that day. So I just figured, well, we'll change her out and put her in these. That way she'll be warm. She won't freeze to death on the way home, Bly said. Right, well, I just don't like this sentence at all. I put it on my community page earlier on. I think some people were like, why have you posted that? Well, it's just to me, as I read it, knowing that she's missing and knowing about all the comments that have been left online about the theories about what had happened to her in the car and did this happen to her in the car and did she get too warm, or, you know, just reading this line. First of all, she's mentioning again, you know, temperature wise in the vehicle. And then also she's bringing up the word death and talking about summer in the same sentence. She won't freeze to death on the way home, Bly said. I just don't like how that sits. I mean, your daughter's missing. You've no idea where she is. It must have gone through your mind that she might not be with us anymore. Unless there's something you know that we don't, it just seems like I just wouldn't, as a mother, be able to put that in the same sentence as my missing daughter. I just wouldn't. But, you know, that's just me. Sometime after that, the child was reported missing to police, neighbours, friends and family. The impact that was left by many, including, and then we haven't got the rest of that. So moving along. So apparently when they did the lie detector tests, they couldn't do them straight away. Wells told the paper, and I think I've heard this as well, Wells told the paper he was so upset he couldn't take a lie detector test for 2 days after the disappearance, and that Summer's mother was made to wait 5 days before being tested, but I think we know the reason why. And he says they passed the tests but could still be under suspicion. Well, I think that was a lie, because as far as I was aware, according to one of Candace's sisters, or should I say one of her relatives, she said that they didn't pass the tests straight away. And I think we've heard that as well since. Candace had to go back and do it for the second time. So this was at the point where they'd just done them. And so here's another one of Donald's lies. And it's just to try and make everybody believe him and believe his narrative. Peter Hyatt would call that an embedded confession. I like that. Yes, it's definitely an embedded confession. Whatever that means, but it sounds good. Okay, what else have we got here? So somebody was asking her, how long were you at home? So they're basically asking her, how long before you got home? What time was it approximately after dropping H off, before she went missing? So she says, I want to at home by 3:30. So I think she's trying to say I was at home by 3:30. And then somebody's asking her, okay, and she went missing at what, 6:30? You don't have to tell me, but you know, blah blah blah. And then I think she was asking if H went back there with her, and the answer to that was no. So this is Alison, and somebody must have been commenting on her. As soon as it came out that her boy had been there that day, everybody was like trying to get in touch with him, trying to find out who he was. And so, you know, Alison then reached out to whoever it was online, or she put a statement out, and she said, bruh, look at this man talk about my son. So she must be replying to somebody. On your own time, like she took him fishing. Like, I just can't talk like that. It's just so ridiculous. Like, she took him fishing. Like, let the poor kid have a life, bro. You effed up, I think that probably is. Like, leave him alone. He was told everything he knows. He has told everything he knows. And for God's sake, the kid is in good hands. Like, I hope she means, well, I don't know who she means. I'm thinking she means with her. Yeah. He's in good hands. Like, geez, he's 15 and didn't know he'd had alcohol because he's so naive, obviously. Okay, now leave him out of your mouth. Okay, I'm scared. We've got some crazy stuff coming up in a minute, guys. Some of this stuff, honestly, I want to believe it. And then other things, I'm just like, I can't believe that. Some of these people that have come forward on Facebook. This is right at the beginning, like some of this. Woman saying she talked to close friend of Hunter, and Hunter was drinking with mom that day at the river. And Summer went underwater for over a minute, and he dove in and got her out, and she was okay. I think if she'd gone under for a minute, you would be doing CPR on her, right? you 5-year-old can't hold her breath for that long, not if she's not trained to do. Like, that's no. Says that when she came out, she was okay. He says that when he was dropped off at home, Summer was sleeping in the car. Could mom have left her there and she died of heat exhaustion? Or I've added exhaustion in there, heat. So mom had to dispose. She couldn't call if she was drinking or, you know, taking things, and forgot about her. So this person here is kind of making out at the top that she seems to know something, but then at the bottom she's speculating as to what could have happened. Right. Some of these right. Some of these people that came forward at the beginning of this case reckon they know the family, and some of the stuff that you're going to hear in a minute is upsetting. If you're going to believe it, take it with a pinch of salt. Some of these people that have come forward, right, and a lot of this has been forgotten about, but this was said right at the very beginning on Facebook groups. People have come forward that didn't want to come forward to YouTubers, and they've had their say. And some of them reckon they know the family, came, hung out with the family, hung out with the kids, and they want their say. And some of it's quite sad. Some of it I do believe, but I'm going to let you make your opinions. I'm certainly not coming in here going, right, this is what happened and these people are telling the truth. I don't know that. You know, I'm not psychic. I don't know these people, but I'm going to let you have the opinion. You can tell me what you think. Okay. So let's move along. Let me have a puff on my hair. You've just reminded me, broken goth doll. I need to puff on my e-cig. I was fine until you said that. Right, let me bring up some of this. Let me make sure they're in order, because I tell you what, right, these things, when you go to upload them, they're a bloody nightmare. You upload them in order and they come out back to front. Okay, so we're just going to have to do what we can with these. Right, so there may be a little bit back to front, but we're going to go through what it says anyway. So there's this particular woman here. She's somebody that does comment a few times, but she seems to think she knows the family. And she said, tried to black the names out because I don't want people going over to them and causing them any grief. But she said, she's talking about Candace and Don. Wasn't for some of the help she had. I wouldn't say she was depressed, just high 75% of the time. She told me she fell asleep and Summer grabbed a cigarette and ate it. When, God, was she that hungry? And when she was one, and ate it when she was one, I think that is. Nobody knows how to put commas or full stops in it. As the boys were supposed to be watching her. Well, I think she should have known then, if Summer was one at this point, that the boys weren't capable of looking after her. So you can't blame them, you know. Okay. I don't know if that's true or not, but I honestly do not think some mysterious person came on the property and grabbed Candace. I think she meant Summer. I stopped going around them because they made me quite uncomfortable. The last few times I stopped by was to check in on the kids, but I had to stop going by there. I'm super empathetic and I just had to stop going, and they didn't know I was the one who called DCS on them. Well, there was a post that Candace put on Facebook saying, you DCS calling BH. So whether she did know it was you or whether she was thinking it was somebody else, who knows? But anyway, she said, they also had an ant and rat problem too, and really didn't care about, well, I think we've heard this before, haven't we, about the rats and things. I think a few people have said, let me get your comments back up while I'm reading. Mother called her names, etc. I don't know how she tolerated them. Oh, and it's funny how nice and sympathetic Donald talks on camera, but that's not how he is, and he makes me feel sick. He could be nice, yes, especially if he needed your help with something, but would fight over money or something, and she would just go sit outside and do videos and was nearly falling asleep. She did fall asleep smoking and drinking beer, but she acted high too. Like I said other times, she would curse and hit them. Or hit him back, which is what Granda said to me, that she was capable of lashing out back as well when she wanted to. So you never knew what her personality would be on any given day. I think substance use made her bipolar. I never personally witnessed any substance use, although I suspect she did pills. I saw him drink, but he never seemed super high unless he was drunk. But he did mention Xanax, beer, and his preference was alcohol. Well, I think we'd heard, haven't we, fairly recently, and that was way after this, that didn't somebody say that Grandis was selling pills to Candace? Was that just a rumor, or I don't really know, but I know something was mentioned about her going and like picking up more pills. I don't know. And that's what I honestly assumed that Candace was taking. Do you remember when her and Donald did that interview right at the beginning? I think it was like a couple of weeks in after Summer had gone missing, and everybody was like, where are they? Why haven't they said anything yet? And her eyes, which were just staring, she was so slow. I honestly believe she'd been on the Xanax that day. And no wonder they made her wait 5 days. But probably thought, there's no way we can give you a lie detector test looking like that, matey. They must have cleaned up the thousands of beer cans outside before they called the law. The place was terrible. Wow. I called DCS. I'm not sure whatever came about the situation. Well, I think we all do now. This was obviously right at the beginning. I think we know what happened. Maybe it was a little bit too late for Summer, but the boys got taken. So they were kind of saved and hopefully are happier now. So well done to this lady, if this is true, and anybody else that called, because, you know, eventually those boys did get taken. It's just a shame they had to wait until Summer got gone, as Donald would say, before that happened. And 2 weeks after Summer got gone, I would have taken them the same night. I mean, Owen and Orson, their brothers and brothers, is it brothers? They got taken the same night. So why weren't the brothers of Summer taken the same night? Anyway, I should have kept calling, but I didn't think they would do anything because I'd already called. I told them what I knew, what I saw, and that I'd seen her hit and kick Summer, and they would lock her in the basement. Now, I'm assuming they mean the parents here, as they haven't said otherwise. So this is kind of concerning because they're saying here that they would lock her in the basement. So was this place a bedroom, or was this a punishment place? You know, I called again as soon as I found out Summer was missing. The basement had a lock on the inside and outside, but I've been in that basement and I know how hot it gets. And she would scream, "You don't punish a kid that's this way." I assume Summer never told them the truth if they talked to her. She could be hyper, little girl. That kid, she could be a hyper little girl. What kid isn't? She always wanted attention. She was a very sensitive kid, and one day her mum wasn't watching her and she pulled out the plants and her mum had a fit. Ugh, I wonder what that fit entailed. As far as the DCS report about her husband, Donald, just so you know, her mother was just as scared Candace as she was her son-in-law. Right, so maybe Grandis is just as scared as Candace as she is Dawn then. Who knows? She ran all over her mother, called her names, etc. Wow. I didn't know that. I always thought they were like quite close. Right, now this one's a bit crazy. Okay, let me see if I've got the right one. I'm not sure whether in a situation actually never. Right, no, it's not that bit. Let's have a look. Right, now this one's a crazy one, guys. This might cause some controversy. I'm not saying it's real. This is what somebody put on Facebook. And I think if this was true, well, we'll talk about it at the end, but this is what this person said. They took a life insurance policy out on summer 2 months ago. So this was 2 months before she went missing. And I know this because I looked up, I helped her look up with the insurance. And she asked me about prices, and I thought it was for her and her husband because age plays a factor in the cost. I was surprised when she said it was for summer. I thought it sounded odd to ask why. It was nagging me, and I asked if she was sick, and she said no. She's such a hyper little girl. They worry about her, especially since she is a girl. They thought it would be safe to have one, and they said then when they had the money, they would all be receiving a policy. Oh, when they have the money, they'll all get a policy. I honestly didn't think they would do this. They both had a temper, but I didn't think they were capable of the M word. Well, let's not assume. I feel sick. I've told law enforcement all the information as I was crying when they had me come down to the station. He kept saying, this isn't your fault. I am just sick. Plus, I've talked to them since she disappeared, and they're both acting very... Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, the thing that gets me with that comment is, if this was true, guys, right, which, you know, sounds crazy. I won't put anything past Don and Candace, but to be honest with you, if this was the case, I'm sure they would have arrested both of them by now, because it's just a massive piece of evidence. You know, you take out an insurance policy for a child. Nobody takes an insurance policy out for a child. I've never taken an insurance policy out for my child. I don't know anyone that has an insurance policy for their children. I'd like to know if any of the 577 people in here that have got children have ever taken an insurance policy out for their kid. No. You know, and so it's not a normal thing. So you would have thought, first of all, the insurance company would have thought that this was odd and maybe said something. Or, you know, as soon as she went missing, they look at all this kind of stuff. They look at the background, anything they've signed for, you know, in the past however long. Yeah, and it does say auto insurance as well. Nothing like life insurance. So I don't really believe this, because I think if this was credible, I think they would certainly have arrested them by now. I think this is a massive piece of evidence that they would have been able to just have them for straight away. Like, you got this taken out and then your child goes missing. Like, no. So I don't believe that one. But I'm sorry to the person who put it if you don't agree. Right, what's this one? So this is another person reckoning they know the family. And this person says, Summer is a sweet girl. She really is. I've never had any issues with the parents either, but I didn't know them that well enough. I never been to their home. There was one issue, and I will get to that at the end. Also, the one thing that did seem odd was that Candace had a nice car and bragged about her husband buying it for her, and the other things he bought her. and took her out into town too. She threatened, which doesn't seem to make sense because, as we know, apparently he's a skinflint, as we would say in the UK. He's a tight ass, and I can't see him doing any of those things. But listen to what she's got to say next. Took her into town too. She threatened to leave him a few times. So he did these things for her so that she would not leave him. I can maybe see that would be a thing. I possibly, like, I mean, he kind of blackmailed her, didn't he, with the car? Drop the allegations with the court over what happened, do you remember, in the October, and I will buy you a car. as soon as the charges are dropped, she's got a new car that he can barely afford. Anyway, or she would leave him. He could be really cheap too, but never broke. They were not poor though. They ate out daily, even ate out at pricey restaurants sometimes, but they were cheap when it came to the kids. If you ask me, they also got food from churches and food pantries, but I'd never seen them spend more than $50 in food a week at the grocery store. So I'm wondering if that is because Don wouldn't always give her food. He wouldn't always give her food. He wouldn't always give her money to go get food. So that's why she was having to buy those pizzas and stuff. So I think that's why she went to the food pantries and stuff. But he'd show up with the alcohol. So he could go and buy the alcohol, but he didn't want to give her the money for the food. Emma, what do you think of the planned disappearance theory? I don't know. I do think it's weird that, like, I'll show you. I do think this is weird, and I still can't get my head around it. Let me show you.
He was supposed to go work Sunday. He didn't show up. Monday, I go in, and he's sitting on a tub, like, head down, and just distraught. And I'm like, this ain't good.
And then, like I said, I dapped up, we went inside, talked about it. And then she said, you want to go fishing summer? I said, do you care if I come with? Because it's summer. And I treated her like a little sister.
Right.
And she said, you got to ask Allie. I asked if I could come with because Summer was going. I went to ask her. She said that's fine because there's no problem with going fishing for a little bit and come back.
Sure.
So what do you make of that? Right. Casino, whoever you are, bugger off out of my chat. I'm not interested in all that silliness. Nobody's interested in your casino business. Ugh. We got spammed. Yeah. God, there's some people, honestly, they've got nothing better to do. Yeah, so I do find that weird. I do find it weird that Dudley said that about Don coming into work and now he was not himself. There's so many things. It's like not one person can actually tell the truth in this case. I mean, even these people that we're reading up on now, it's like, are they telling the truth? I don't know. Some of it's too crazy to believe, and other bits. Right, what's next? Right, Candace said she had some shoes but couldn't find a matching pair and she wasn't buying any more. Or is that Summer? That hit me as wrong. Also, I felt like I had to watch the kids, all of them, and I had some physical issues. Candace would lounge around on the phone, and that was the only issue I had with her because I had to watch all the kids and I have health problems and felt like she used my friendship. The last time we were at the lake together, I had told her that they started fighting, and Candace was on the phone at this point. So the boys had started fighting, and I told Candace they're fighting, and she said, tell them to stop. So I did tell them to stop, and already had done that. She said, if you can't get them to stop, go to the car and get my belt, and then I'll get them to stop. She sort of snapped at me because I couldn't get them to stop fighting, and she didn't want to get off the phone. Don't know who she was talking to. The next time she asked me to go, I told her I couldn't go, and she was upset about that. It just seemed like everything was about her, and she didn't get it. Mum said she had not been to the doctor since her 3-year checkup, and they needed to get things done for school, but they hadn't. Now that I had time to actually think about things, I greatly suspect she may have been and they would find that out at the well check, because you have to have a well check for school. And they qualified, but she refused to put her in a Head Start, which would not cost anything. They would just need their vaccine and well check records for a physical. Some things just don't make sense, and I can't stop going over things in my head and blaming myself. Another fishy thing is that I offered to take the boys out to the movies, and she declined, and has not wanted company at home, which I guess is understandable, but they let her friend take the boys, or DD, so that's David Dodson, take the boys to Put-Put. There is something up with Don and him. I can't put my finger on it. Do you believe this lady so far? What do you reckon, guys? Do you believe her? I mean, this woman doesn't seem to be saying anything too bad. It sounds like she knows them. I'd like to think it's kind of stuff that we might have already heard. Some of it's not. I'd like to believe this woman, but who knows? Tell me what you think. Let me get the next one up. She said, I took Summer on outings to the park, etc., such as outgoing. She had such an outgoing personality. She was full of life and love. I've taken her out about 4 times. The last time she cried and begged to stay with me. Oh God, I just can't. That's making me feel a bit sad. Candace asked me to watch her the day she went missing, but I couldn't, as I had a doctor's appointment. Now that's weird. There we go. Why did she ask this woman? If this is true, then why did she ask this woman to look after Summer the day that she went missing? Was she in the way? Did she want to go and meet H on her own? Like, was she just wanting to go to the hospital with her mum and didn't want to take Summer? Like, what was going on there? But it does say here, Candace asked me to watch her the day she went missing, but I couldn't, as I had a doctor's appointment. I'm blaming myself. I haven't been sleeping, by the way. I have bought Summer clothes, shows, and 2 toys for Christmas. The nice shoes that you saw in the... What? They're the ones that I bought her. Okay. In the coffin picture. I didn't want to read that, but yeah. So, yeah, do you remember the staged photo of them in Gatlinburg, I think, or somewhere, and she stood in that, like, wooden coffin thing? It's like a day out. They took photos, and it's kind of a bit creepy. But the shoes she's wearing in that picture apparently are the ones that I bought her, this lady says. To my knowledge, she only put her in those shoes when they went on vacation and a few other times. When I picked her up, she had shoes that were made for a 12-year-old. Candace tried to mention that she liked what she liked during the interview, but missed a lot of things out that she liked. She liked Barbies, unicorns, Lion King toys, and Grow toys. And Lion King toys were her favorites. She cried when they cut her hair. Oh my God, that's upsetting if that's true. Ugh, they can't cry. She cried when they cut her hair. So was it a punishment cutting her hair? Because Donald has said, you know, oh, she wanted a haircut like her mother and like the brothers. But everybody commented at the beginning that it was just a bit weird. Like, and even people that aren't familiar with the case, like one of the first things they see is pictures of someone with really short hair, and they're all like, why is her haircut short? You know? So this lady's saying here that Summer cried when they cut her hair. How would you know that? Was she there? Is it true? I don't know. Guys, what do you think? Do you believe this woman so far? I would like to think that I do believe this woman. I don't think I believe the woman with that was talking about the insurance policy. I don't believe that one. But I kind of do believe this woman so far. She's not said anything too outrageous. Obviously, we don't know if it's 100% true. Sorry, I'm just banging my elbow on the studio wall. I don't think they even went to regular school. I do believe some, yes. Yeah, I think I believe this one. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Like, everybody has their own opinions, and that's what, you know, we always say, don't you? You know, listen to everything and believe what you want. I think of the parents saying to go get my belt. That's so triggering. I always heard that as a kid. Yes, me too. It's not nice, JPL. Kind of brings back memories. Yeah, so she's basically saying in here that she bought Summer lots of nice things. She was asked to look after Summer the day she went missing. So this poor woman, if this is true, this poor woman has now got to live with the fact that if she'd have looked after Summer on the day that she went that day, she might never have gone missing. And that is, if that was me and that this was true and this woman is telling the truth, okay, and that was me, I would be struggling right now. I think I would really be struggling to deal with that. And she's saying that she cried when they cut her hair. So whether she was there when they cut the hair or whether this is Summer relaying this information. Oh, she's saying here, she cried when they cut her hair. Her mum said because it was an... see if I can get the next one up. So she's actually saying here that it was Candace that said that Summer cried when they cut her hair. I can't see that bottom bit. Okay, so what do I think? Oh, where's the last bit? It's quite an important bit. Where is it? Oh, did I upload it? Because it's not the it's something from Chris McDonough's channel from a long time ago. Right, I'm just going to put myself on mute just for a second, otherwise there'll just be a loud noise. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Right. Is it uploaded? Okay, it's here. Okay, so this is from Chris McDonough's channel. Well, as far as I'm aware, it is. I've got it off Facebook, but this was apparently one of the conversations, because I think, didn't they document it on? Right. So this was what was apparently said. So Chris McDonough apparently said, and so what did each of your sons tell you? And Don Wells says, well, one time, me and Josie, he just started crying. I don't even remember what I said to him or what. And he says, Dad, God, it's on, honestly, it's awful the way they write. I don't even remember what I said to him or what. And he says, Dad, it's not my fault, you know? And he was crying. I said, I know, son, I know. It's not your fault. I'm sorry. I don't remember what I said to him to make him cry, but I just remember him saying, it's not my fault. I've felt bad, but we ain't been the same. But we ain't been the same. Ain't gonna be the same. Okay. Right, so I got this off Facebook. This is what it's saying. Do you remember some of Chris M's stuff got printed out? Like Chris actually, I don't know who it was, but Chris had put all the text out so you could see. And that's what I'm assuming this is. I got it off Facebook earlier on. Now, it sounds like Josie was pretty upset, and we saw the interview in the media where Donald and Josie are like stood there. Josie he's got his head down, he looks really kind of sad, and you know, this is where I've been told this is from. I am guessing that's where this is from, but hey, this is what it says, so just take it as a pinch of salt. But it says again, what Chris says, what did you tell your sons? And he says, well, one time me and Josie, we just started crying. I don't even remember what I said to him or what. And he says, Dad, it's not my fault, you know. And he was crying, and I said, son, I know, it's not your fault. I'm sorry. I don't remember what I said to him to make him cry, but I just remember him saying, it's not my fault. I felt bad. But we ain't been the same since. I can see the comments all about Summer. I can see them. Oh, did you have an insurance policy on both your children? That's really interesting, because I've never heard of it before. Oh, she had a heart condition. Right, well, that might be a different thing. Yeah, I understand that then. That's a completely different matter. You know, if they've got something, you know, going on and you might need to claim for medical expenses and all that kind of stuff, or for any other reasons, then I can understand that. But just on a regular basis, it just wouldn't even, it's never crossed my mind, like, you know. So what do you make of this, guys? This that's on the screen right now. So it must be related to Summer's disappearance, because otherwise Don would not be talking with Chris M. And as far as I'm aware, this is where this has come from, but it was on Facebook. And what did your other boys say? Chris said. Don said, Wyatt told my wife that he would have went downstairs with Summer like she wanted him to. So Summer must have wanted Wyatt to go downstairs and play with her, and he didn't. And she wouldn't probably be gone. He feels like he's kind of guilty about that too. And then the other, Chris says, Wayland's too young. He doesn't really understand right now. Okay, right. Obviously, that's a lot. We've gone through a lot there, guys. And I'm going to tell you where I think she is. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and I don't normally have people up, except for Kat. But if anybody wants to come up here and just tell me what they think about all this, as long as you're respectful, as I am, then, you know, you're welcome to come and have a chat with me, and we can go over it together. I'm having a glass of wine, but it is 10 o'clock now. Must be 10 o'clock. What time is it? Oh, gosh, it's nearly 11 o'clock. Wow. We're really nearly... I've been talking to myself for like an hour and 43 minutes. It's really weird, you know, when you're on the other end of like this stream, because although I know I'm talking to you guys, it's like I'm not getting anybody talking back to me. It's kind of weird. I'm not used to doing these lives like Doug and all these others that go live every night. They probably just don't even think about it. But I'm like really nervous. Yeah, grab the wine. Thank you. Yeah, I am. Nobody wants to come up and talk to me? No? You don't have to be shy. I'm a nice, easygoing person, you know. Honestly. I won't bite, I promise. So what do you think, if this is true, what do you think? Do you think Josie, why was Josie saying, why was Josie crying and saying, it's not my fault? It's not my fault. You know, is it because he went down there to look for her and he couldn't find her? Is it because he didn't go and play with her? Dudley said, Katrina, tell me, what did Dudley say? Yes, not even 100 likes, and there's 500 in here, guys. I should do what Molly used to do. She used to turn around and say, right, I'm not saying another thing until I get at least another however many 100 likes. I used to be sat there thinking, that's not the way to do it, Molly. No, you don't have to. Oh, look, I have a little friend wanting to join the stream. Meg. Hi, Meg. Let me add you to the stream. Hi. Let me put my headphones on and then I might be able to hear you. Hello.
Me?
Hi.
Hi, Emma. This is my first time, so I'm probably going to make an absolute mess of this. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's nice to see you.
I'm sorry, I'm in bed and I'm an absolute mess, but I'm in Australia, as you can probably tell.
Oh, I love the accent. I'm an absolute mess as well, look.
Oh, you're nowhere near as much of a mess as I am. I've got a litter of puppies due in 3 days, so I'm madly getting ready and I'm very sleep deprived. But otherwise, everything's good.
Oh, good. So what do you make of everything we've talked about tonight, or the case anyway in general?
Look, I love everything you've brought up, Emma. Look, some of those things that you've said, that people, the supposed family friends, I'm totally with you on that. I tend to find the couple of them quite believable. The insurance one, not so much. You know, what's really funny, in the last few days, I've sort of changed my thoughts a lot. And again, I've got no idea. I don't know any more than anyone else. But I'm leaning towards now that perhaps the parents aren't involved, whereas I always have thought they were. I've always been quite suspicious of anyone, not conspiracy theorist suspicious, because I'm not that type of person. I'm very sort of pragmatic and practical, but I'm starting to lead towards now that all of the inconsistencies, the proven lies, and all of this, the loss of time, and all the things that we find incredibly damning, I just think it's because they're criminal types that spend their life lying, and that they've got so much that they're fearful of with the law.
Yeah.
That's where I'm
So you think because of like the history, the things we've seen and heard, that's why people kind of feel that they are involved? Or having said that, do you think because they've not arrested them yet, you think that they would have done by now if they had something on them?
Maybe not necessarily, because I think these things can take a lot of time to build a really good solid case. So that's where I was. I only up until a few days ago, really, to be perfectly honest, it was listening to the Caminelli stream with what's his name, Scotty Skulls, and I am starting to think now she's wandered off, and it would be, I just think the searches weren't thorough, and I'm not blaming anyone. The terrain's terrible, it's dreadful. I'm not saying these parents were good parents or are good parents. There's definitely stuff going on. There's definitely stuff they probably should be in prison for. I know Don is, but I think they're guilty of a lot of things. I'm just starting to wonder if perhaps they're actually, other than being really crappy parents, I do tend to believe that Candace was off doing things she shouldn't have been with Hunter, and that a lot of that day was organised around that. I just think all of the lies and the loss of time, there was stuff they were cleaning up before they called the police. I just think that they panicked because they were very, very neglectful, abusive, not good parents. That's where I'm leaning at the moment, but I've got no idea any more than anyone else. And as far as Jodie Sue's concerned, I just think that she's lonely, drug background, very good communicator, intelligent lady with a very active mind, and just a busybody. And I think there's probably a lot of other criminal activity in the area, and everybody just doesn't talk because that's the type of demographic. That's where I'm leaning.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard not to assume that they could not possibly be involved due to the things that we've seen and heard. I still think that they are involved. I have swayed a couple of times about whether or not somebody took her or whether they sold her, but I just think, they didn't want her there that day. Candace had other things, priorities. I think there was something going on there. H's dad has already said that he has pressed charges against with Hawkins County against Candace for things that he feels went on with H. So I think there was a lot going on, and I felt that she was in the way, maybe.
I agree. I think all the kids were always in the way. But I don't know. And like I said, for the whole time, and I've been following, I'm not a creator or anything, but I've been following the case for probably 3 to 7 hours solidly every day since it happened, which is ridiculously obsessive, right? But I mean, I go get about my chores and my dog training and have it in my ears. But I've been thinking they're guilty the entire time, up until only probably 2 or 3 days ago. And I'm not even saying that I don't think that they are now. I'm just saying I'm more open to considering that. I'm sort of starting to lean that way. But I don't know. I felt that they were guilty. I felt it was an accident cover-up for the most of the time.
Yeah, I think even Cher said at one point on the other channel, she was saying that, she had gone back and forth for a while. I think it was mainly when she was talking to Dom, but she'd go back and forth, like thinking, I do believe them. No, I don't, you know, and I can understand that because new stuff comes out all the time. Well, it did up until fairly recently. New stuff was coming out all the time. The reason why I wanted to go over the Facebook stuff today was because so many people have gone back over all the past streams and interviews and things to do with the case, but we haven't really gone back over the Facebook stuff. And as you know, some people come out on Facebook and say their piece rather than come on YouTube and say anything. So that's why I wanted to go back over that. But you know, on this channel, we welcome everybody's opinion here. I'm not going to say you're wrong for having an opinion or that you don't believe just because you don't agree with what I'm saying. I have got a photo of where not particularly where I think she is, but I feel that they are lazy. And I think that if she is somewhere, I think it would be somewhere like, somewhere like this, a tunnel, a cave, down a well, or some kind of storage place. And I know it's not what we want to think of her being. We certainly don't want to think of her being in anywhere like that. But I think they're lazy, so I can't see them digging holes. I think they would want to, if they have done something, get rid quickly. And I think it would be somewhere where they wouldn't expect anyone to find her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was always much the same, that they took off and dumped her somewhere where they, they're very familiar with the area, and, and then whether or not she was moved again, I don't know.
Hi, Chrissy. Oh, Chris.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
We're good, thank you. Where are you calling in from?
I am in Charleston, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Wow.
Yes.
Oh, we've got some. What? Our other guest has dropped down. She might come back in a minute. So, how are you anyway? Have you been watching this case?
Oh, you know what, Emma? Everyone in this case is a liar, and I don't know what to think anymore. The only thing that I have in my mind is that Summer's missing, and her disappearance saved her brothers. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. She definitely helped save her brothers. Let's hope that they're having a nicer life than they were before. From what we can see.
Pray for.
Yeah.
So I came up because
mm-hmm.
I was a mod for Andrew for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And yesterday I just couldn't take it anymore, and I flipped out on him on his panel and called out all his lies.
Oh, wow.
This man, I don't think he said 5 words that's the truth.
You think he's a liar then?
Oh, yes, he is. All his mods have finally realized that.
I thought his channel had gone, to be honest.
Yeah, they took it down, but he made another one.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah, it's Moist Coffee Shop 2.
Moist. What's the moist stand for? Do we know?
Because what I always called him is like a rebellious child. And a lot of people don't like that word moist. So because people don't like it, he's going to use it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I think I stopped watching him at the point where he threatened to fly over and smack me one. I mean, obviously, I would meet him at the airport, like no problem. I'm taught in self-defense for my job.
Emma, please, you could step on that man.
I mean, I might be little, right, but I pack a punch. I can stick up for myself. But it was at that point, because I know I have spoken about his son, but I've never been downright nasty. I have only literally said what's come out of his own mouth and what he is actually apparently pressing charges on Candace for now.
That's why I came up. When you said that, I'm like, I have to go up. He's not. He never, ever contacted any kind of law enforcement to press charges.
So you think that's a lie then?
Oh, I know it's a lie. And I'm
Ah.
actually, through this case, I've become good friends with Allie. And Hunter Hunter adores me. He calls me Aunt Chris. And that boy is hurt. He's going to need a lot of therapy because he's just hurt that
Is he acting up? Sorry.
No, he's a really good kid, Emma.
Is he?
He really is. Yeah. But from being with Summer that day and she disappeared, it's killing him that maybe if he would have stayed with them longer, he could have helped her, or, you know?
Yeah. So you don't think in any way that he was, I'm not saying he's involved or did anything to her, but do you think he was told to cover anything up and that's why he's struggling? Do you think he would tell if he had?
Oh, yes, he would.
Yeah.
The way he talks about Candace, he can't stand her.
Right. Because they were
So
good. They were seemed friends, weren't they? They seemed to be friends.
Yeah, until the whole Jose thing, and then, but he still talked to Candace and hung out with the boys and stuff. But he really thought of Summer like his sister. He loved that little girl because, you know, like my kids are the same way. They were so mean to each other.
Yeah.
They were always picking on Summer. So he kind of goes for the underdog in the fight. So he took up for Summer, and it was like his little sister.
Oh. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then it's pretty sad. I mean, we did hear that when he got home, he was rocking backwards and forwards, and I don't know if that was because he was a bit drunk or
no,
what.
I talked to Allie about that, and that never happened.
Ah, right, okay.
But like yesterday, Hunter called me up because he was just upset about, I can't even remember what it was. It was something stupid. And he called me to talk to me about it.
Well, that's nice that he's got an adult that he feels.
Yeah. So that way he's not, because he adores his mother. He doesn't want to put things on her more than she's already got. So he'll call me and talk to me. He's very respectful. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. But he's just your average 16-year-old.
Yeah. I don't think Allie likes me, to be honest.
But see, we really never knew. We thought you were just going after Hunter and Andrew and Allie.
No. I was just bringing out the information, like all of the information that I could find on the case. And I've always said, what do you think, guys? Do you think this is true? Do you think this is not true? This is what I heard. This is where I heard it. You know, it's not a case of trying to go after anyone or, you know, that's...
But see, now that I go back and watch Andrew's lives, I understand where people are getting this from. And yesterday I went on his panel and I just started calling him out on his lies. And then
that'll be an interesting stream. I might need to watch that.
Yeah, they kicked me off because he had a stream right before they took his channel down, putting Hunter down so bad. Now, why would you do that to your kid?
Yeah. No, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, so I had to set that man straight because I think I know him more than he knows his own kid. But he told Hunter that, on the phone with him, he told Hunter, you were a mistake. And then he said, you want to hear, he said, you want to hear a funny joke? You being born. Yep, so Hunter wants nothing to do with that man.
Well, I mean, apparently they're not speaking, are they, as of recent? That's what he said anyway. He went on Crime Lines and Lies the other day, and he was saying that they're not speaking at the minute.
Nope, they're not. Hunter won't talk to him because of what he said. How do you, as a parent, say that?
Yeah, because he lied, didn't he? He said on Crime Lines and Lies that they weren't speaking because of his attitude. He never mentioned the fact that he just basically told him it was a mistake.
He is not going to tell the bad things that he does.
No. Well, it's like Don, isn't it? Don likes to talk about the narrative, but doesn't ever mention the things he's done wrong.
Yeah. Exactly.
smack him in the face, and he'd still deny it.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, us mods really the past week have really realized all the lies that he's telling.
Wow.
And
Well,
Allie just got it. She just started working at home, so she can be home with the kids during the summer and be in the house and keep an eye on them.
well, that's useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely useful. You can work from home. I've just gone part-time, so my shifts have gone from 37.5 hours a week to 27.5 hours a week. So I'm dropping a shift a week, but it just means I'm only doing 3 days rather than. It'll give me more time to spend with Penny during the day. I'll have more time to spend on YouTube. I can make more videos, and I'm hoping that I can balance it out,
Yeah.
and just not be on my feet as much, because as a lot of people that follow this channel having fibromyalgia or chronic pain, it's hard being on your feet all day. It's so hard. But yeah, thank you. That's very interesting to know that about H and Ali. I appreciate you coming on and telling us that. I mean, is there anything else you want to tell us that's going on with H at the minute? How is he? Is he all right?
Can you hear me? Okay. He's doing good. He has this moment where he starts thinking about summer and everything, and it'll upset him, but then he pulls himself together. And his girlfriend's not pregnant. They're not married. I don't know where people get all this stuff from.
No, I don't know if I'd heard about him being pregnant. I don't think I'd.
Well, Dolly started that one because
Oh.
when he went past there, it was True's boyfriend and Hunter. They were outside, and Hunter's girlfriend's skinny. True is a little bit bigger. He thought True was the girlfriend, and he was saying, "Oh, she's pregnant," because she was bigger.
Oh. I see. Oh gosh.
Yeah, but I had to just, tell everybody.
Have you asked him what he thinks happened to Summer? Because I don't know if anybody's actually asked him that. Does he actually have any thoughts on where she could be?
His therapist said, "Don't bring it up to him. Let him come and talk to you about it." So yesterday when I talked to him, he was actually talking about Summer. He said, all of a sudden, these people in Kingsport and Rogersville are coming at me. I'm Summer's cousin. I'm her family. And then you can see in his face, he looked like he wanted to cry, and he just stopped. Yeah, you can hear in his voice and see it in his face.
Yeah. I wonder, yeah. It'd be interesting to know what, when he does speak out, like what he actually thinks happened to her.
Yeah, me too. I would love to know, but
yeah,
I can't.
Yeah.
No, his girlfriend's not pregnant.
Somebody's saying in the chat it wasn't Dolly that said that, it was PG that started it, apparently. I don't know, because I don't watch PG very often.
Me neither. Okay, so then, yeah.
Unless I've got it on speed 2.0.
The only time I really watch her is when she's cursing and flipping out. I think it's so funny.
Oh yeah, I've got to watch those bits, but generally you've got to watch it there because at the end of the stream she generally cuts it out and then tweaks it and puts it back, reloads it back up, so she did the other day. I just put it out, whatever happens. Like when Ali's neighbors started like trying to kill each other on live, I was just like, just leave it in. It's entertainment. Oh my God. I just haven't. Oh God. You've got to get the rough with the smooth.
Yeah, but them neighbors do put them through hell.
Do they?
And this was from Hunter. When he first came home and the neighbor first seen him, she started saying, while he was taking the trash out, she started saying, baby killer, baby raper. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't the way she said it to be.
Oh gosh. That's not good.
Yeah, no.
I think I'd go mad if somebody was saying that to my kid. I'd be over that fence. I'd probably
know,
end up
right?
losing my job. I'd be like, come here, you bastard! Come here! I'd have the neck. I'd be like,
Yeah, somebody from YouTube just called CPS on Allie. They were just there yesterday.
how can anybody on YouTube actually know what goes on in that house, though, really? 100%.
Exactly. Well, one time when she was on Prairie Gardens, she had dropped a cigarette and Sandra picked it up to hand it to her, and they screenshotted it with the cigarette in Sandra's hand and called CPS.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, she's
It's
not been on
sad.
recently. I don't know if it's since I put the neighbours video out, but ever since she's not been back on. So I don't know if I scared her off. I don't think she likes me much.
Hunter's caseworker told them do not go on YouTube.
Oh, right. So I didn't scare them off then. It was a caseworker.
No, she's basically not allowed to talk about. It's not even, doesn't even have anything to do with Summer's case. It has to do with when Hunter was away.
Right.
And he wasn't in boot camp like his father says.
Yeah, he said boot camp the other day. Now the neighbours told me that he was in juvenile. But he said boot camp, and he said, well, now I can tell everybody now, because it's I can tell everyone now, it doesn't matter.
No, he can just tell another lie. Because how many times has he changed his story about where Hunter was?
Well, yeah. I don't know what to believe anymore. You know, I think I'm going crazy. My head's about to
I know.
You know, the amount of times I think my head's about to spin off and then just like land on the floor and split into a billion pieces, whatever this case.
I know. It's all in the name of Summer. That's what's the sad part.
Yeah. And the thing is, people say, oh, you're only doing this for clicks and views. You're only doing it to make money. Well, do you know what? I'm lucky. I'm not one from, I don't ask for super chats. I don't, you know, I don't often put my any details out there unless somebody asks me. And, you know, like this stream, this won't be monetized because of some of the words used in it. So I will not make a penny off this video tonight. I think I got one super chat earlier on. That was it. And that, you know, this video won't be monetized. So for everybody that thinks that every time you make a video, you get paid for it, it's just not the case. And most of the work you do, I mean, I think I've spent like 4 hours today getting screenshots and searching Facebook and trying to get all the information together, and then coming live for 2 hours, and you don't get paid for very much of it at all, because you don't get adverts on it because of the words you use. I think I've called Don a dickhead 3 times now. So I know for a fact it's been demonetized, you know.
Oh, and one more thing.
Yeah.
Now it left my head. Oh my goodness. It'll come back to me.
Was it something to do with Donald, Candace, or H, or Ali, or Silly Boy? What's he called? Andrew. I can call him Silly Boy because he doesn't like me anyway. It's fine. Holly says, ignore the haters, Emma. You do fantastic work. Well, you have to ignore the haters. Tell you what, like the bigger your channel gets, the more haters. And I look at the comment and I think, is this being rude, or are they just giving their opinion? If they're giving their opinion, fine. If they're being generally really rude, then I have to kind of work out how rude that is and how much I'm willing to put up with. And then I'm done. It's just block. I just don't deal with it. Even some of the creators, blocked. Like, I'm just not putting up with it. Like, I'm just not putting up with the silliness. I just don't want to be involved in any of that.
Yeah.
But
it's sad. It really is, because I mean, we're supposed to be adults.
oh, tell me about it. Oh, Cher's here. Hi, Cher. Nice to see you, babe. But I was just saying, Cher, you know, people that say, oh, you make all this money on YouTube, and it's not the case, is it? Because a lot of the streams you do, you don't get paid for, because they're limited ads, so you don't really get anything. So it's like, you know, you get a lot of people
You don't even
in the
come
comments.
on a lot anymore.
No, well, sometimes it's because I'm working shifts. Sometimes I'm doing like 5-6 shifts in a row, and I'm just done. And then other times I'm just not feeling up to it. I'm a bit shy as well. I know I don't come across as shy, but I am inside like really shy. So, but yeah. So have you remembered what it was you wanted to tell us?
No.
As soon as you drop down, you'll remember.
I know, right? But if I do, I'll put it in chat in caps so you can see it.
Yeah. Oh,
but it was nice talking to you, and thank you for letting me come up. And
thank you for coming up and talking to us.
Just go watch his live from yesterday.
Oh, I'm gonna do. You know what? When I've finished here, I'm gonna go downstairs because I'm up in the loft. I've got my YouTube studio in the loft. I'm gonna go down there, and I'm gonna lay in bed. I'm gonna watch that stream. As much as I don't want to watch Andrew Hiltz, I will watch it just for you.
Well, and go incognito too.
Yeah. YouTube Cher says YouTube makes a lot of money off us. Not they take 40% off you. Like, it's a lot, really. It is. So, you know, for anybody that ever wants to donate, it's so much better to go to somebody's Cash App if you want them to get the whole amount. Because if you like leave a super chat, which is brilliant, and I have no problem receiving super chats, but YouTube will take 40% of that. It's a big chunk. I mean, I understand it being their company, but still, you know, you're the one bringing the people in for them. They're giving you a platform.
They're making enough off the sponsors.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
They got to take money from the YouTubers too.
Yeah.
Everybody's greedy.
It's terrible. But thank you so much. Thank you, darling. Thank you for coming on.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Right. So, where's it gone? It's my screensaver. Well, thank you guys for coming on tonight. You know, it's been a bit of a mismatch of stuff that I've managed to scramble together, try to put it in some kind of order, although it is difficult when you've got so much and you upload it and it never uploads in the right order, but we've got there. We've managed to get through it. Some of it, you know, listen to it all, but believe what you want to believe. Some of it's believable, and other things are kind of not, like the insurance policy thing. I don't believe that, but I wanted to bring it to you because it's interesting to see what some of these people actually say. And I mean, it would be lovely, wouldn't it, if we could just go on these platforms and just believe everything and everything to be true. But it's not the case. And as we've seen so far with the Summer Wells case, I mean, even the parents can't tell us the truth from what I can see, or anybody around her. I mean, I don't really know if there's one person that I actually 100% believe, but I don't know if that's just because the longer it's gone on, like the less trusting you become. And as we know, it's not always the case that the parents are involved. And there's plenty of people around the parents, such as the neighbours and the friends and all the people who are living in that area that have got criminal history, that, you know, as what was he called? Dobson. Was it Dobson? Was saying earlier on, that guy? He was saying, you know, I've been cleared. Like, no, you've not been cleared. You have not been cleared. Nobody has been bloody cleared. So stop saying that, because that's just going to piss me the right off. You have not been fucking cleared. Nobody's been cleared in this case. When there's some arrests and the case is done, then you'll be cleared. Until then, shut up. But yeah, so anyway, guys, I just wanted to bring that to you. I hope you enjoyed tonight's stream. I'm hoping Penny will be in bed now, because it is getting late. But I'll go and tuck her in if not. Anyway, take care, everybody. Thank you to all the mods, all the members, and just generally everybody that supports the channel by watching. Thank you very, very much. And I will see you again soon. I'm sure I'll have another video out for you in the next couple of days. Take care, guys. Bye.